All right, guys, I'm back. I'm back on, but I'm still not seeing why is this not connecting to the video source. Okay, here I go. Here I go. Here I go. Here I go. Yeah, let me go live in. All right, guys. So I'm extremely excited. All right, all right, all right, guys. Let's see what I got going on here. Going on. All right. So, guys, I'm extremely excited about what I have going on right now. As you can see, I launched Fourth Eye Visions. What it is, it's a tech education platform and also an investing platform where I'm going to teach you guys how I found success investing in cryptocurrency, exactly how I did it, right? And I have a different approach when it comes to investing. And then another thing is, I'm finally allowed to go live on TikTok. And I hear that's the fastest way to grow. So I'm really excited about that too, guys. But anyhow, what I want to talk about, I'm going to get straight to it. My name is Mike James. You can find me on social media under Who is Mike James. That's on TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. It's at who underscore is underscore Mike James. Yes, it sounds like Mike Jones. Whatever helps you remember it is what I care about the most, guys. But what I want to talk to you guys about is understanding that when it comes to cryptocurrency and investing, the first thing that you need to know is that you do not have a clock. No one has a magic clock to go back to get Bitcoin when it was 3,000 or $3, right? It's about opportunity cost. And then the more and more that you sit on the sidelines and wait. And the reason why I'm going live today is because I'm going to show you guys that don't just listen to the crypto bros on the internet. Don't just listen to myself, right? You always have to verify. That's what they say in the crypto space. You don't trust, you verify. Anything that anybody tells you on the internet, you have to go back and look and see if what they're talking is BS or not. It's just as simple as that, guys. Like, and I'm just going to show you a couple of things that you can see that cryptocurrency is here to stay. I don't know if you haven't seen the Bitcoin ETF, the Ethereum ETF, or whatever that may be. Like, those are signs that institutional investors are realizing that this technology has some use cases in the real world, right? So the reason why a lot of people don't understand cryptocurrency is because I believe most people do not even understand the financial infrastructure that we have in the centralized way. So when you give someone something that's decentralized, the same thing that they're going to do is they're going to first, if you don't understand something and someone throws something new at you, that's the same thing that holds you back in any avenue in life. So that's why the first thing that I say that if you're trying to build a seven-figure portfolio, first you have to understand that that takes time, right? The first thing that I did was I set a financial goal. The job that I had 6 years ago, I didn't know too much about investing. Someone had told me about a stock purchasing program, and I read a book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. I'm not going to hear and tell you guys about the read. Everybody should understand that reading is fundamental and it's the best way to get information. But the thing that I took away from Rich Dad, Poor Dad, right? This isn't like some testimonial to how great Robert Kiyosaki is. What I'm saying is, I think that when it comes to how people do not understand personal finance, Rich Dad Poor Dad simplifies that and understanding why did he call his real dad, right? He called his real dad Poor Dad, who had a great job, provided for him and everything else, right? And then he had the rich dad, who was his dad's, his friend's dad, who was giving them advice on how to stay rich, right? And then he summarized that into the cash flow quadrant, right? And so now you hear all this stuff, right? And here's something else I want to tell you about. Like, first, I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna get straight to the point because I know that a lot of people just want to know what it is that you're trying to say, right? What I'm trying to say is that you can see everything's not getting cheaper. Everything, inflation's at an all-time high. You're not getting the rate cuts that they said that we were going to get, right? And so now what you have to start understanding is how can you not drown, right? You're barely above water. You're living paycheck to paycheck, and you don't understand how you're going to outpace inflation. The cost of groceries going up. Everything is so expensive. Do you know that what people forgot about is that gas is still high, in my opinion? And the only way that you can outpace inflation is through investing and buying assets, right? So that's why I'm going to start today with telling you that the first thing that you need to know is to get financial freedom. And then I'm not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. What I am trying to tell you, though, is that when I consulted with a financial advisor, the key takeaway that he had on the first consultation that I had with him was he asked me first, how much debt did I have? How much income did I have? Right. And that's the same thing if you go to purchase a home. See, right now, like I'm into real estate. I do real estate investing, right? I network with realtors and things like that. But I'm not some mastermind at real estate investing, right? I just recently, I'm about 2 or 3 years into real estate investing, so I'm a complete novice. When you hear the stuff on the internet about like getting started investing in real estate with little to no money, I personally believe the little money is the one you should say. You don't really need no money, right? But I think that you at least need to invest about $100 or something into like to learn it and further in your education, right? So what I want you guys to understand, right, is that you have to start seeking information to increase your value in the marketplace. Now, I don't know what your skill set is, right? And that's why you need to start understanding that finances in general is personal. You can scroll on these apps all day, right? And hear these gaslighting terms of people trauma bonding and saying all this other stuff about like how expensive everything is, right? And I'm telling you right now, I agree with you. Housing is ridiculous, right? And it has to come down. But what I'm saying is no matter what, you're going to need capital in order to survive. That's something that like when they say that you have to save yourself, you have to start realizing that if everybody's struggling, you're going to have to be able to fend for yourself. The only thing that I can tell you right now is that you have to take a look around and see what it is that you can control. What are you in control of, right? I personally don't believe that voting actually matters and stuff like that because it doesn't fix any of the problems, right? The homeless people are just multiplying. There's still a bunch of drugs, like drug addicts out on the street. There's still crime going on, right? Voting doesn't particularly matter. But also, I'm not a doomsdayer who also knows that, like, patience is progress, that it has to get better every time, and you have to be mindful of progress. That's the motivation of patience, right? If you have your ear to the streets, you'll start understanding that patience is progress. So now what I want to show you guys, and I'm sorry TikTok, like I just recently got this live, right? And then so I won't be able to share the screen. I'm gonna figure it out. After today, I'm gonna figure it out. This is my first go around with going live, guys. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna be sure that I give you guys the most value that I absolutely can, is because I want to show you why cryptocurrency is going to be the greatest wealth transfer of human history, right? Like at this time, what's up, son? What was that on? Oh man, what do you want me to do? Spank his butt. No, I'm not spanking his butt. I'll come in there and talk to him after I get off this live, right? All right. So now, what I want you to start understanding, right, is that whatever it is, that this is the greatest wealth transfer in human history, meaning that there's going to be tons and tons of capital poured into this asset class, right? See, what most people don't know is that Bitcoin was created in 2008 and it launched in 2009. So now, when it comes to crypto, you have to understand who rules supreme in cryptocurrency. It's Bitcoin. Go look anywhere. What's the number one asset? What can you buy on Cash App? What can you buy on CoinMarketCap? What can you buy on Venmo? All of these fintech services is giving you exposure to Bitcoin. That's the first sign of market analysis, right? And another thing that I want to add to you guys on this right now is that you have to understand that if you never had any experience in entrepreneurship, here's something that I can tell you. The lowest cost, right? The lowest cost to see profit and to start a business is investing. I don't care what anyone tells you, what anyone else thinks. Start your EIN, right? You already have an EIN. It's called your social security number, right? You already have a place that you stay that you're going to collect taxes on, right? The easiest business to start is going to be starting an investment portfolio, becoming an asset manager yourself. That is actually the ultimate lesson from Rich Dad Poor Dad. Is you have to start taking self-custody of your finances to see where you are at, right? And in order for you to be able to see that, you have to take a look under the hood. You have to see what's going on. You have to see, like everyone knows that when you go out to the bar and you have a good night, you start buying some shots, buying some drinks. Like, I'm not sure if people do that today. COVID changed the game. But it's like once you start pouring some shots and whatnot, you will start seeing that people are afraid to look at their checking account the other day, right? And this is what I want to tell you, right? People say all the time, and I'm going to pull this up and do my screen share in a second here, right? But people say all the time about how cryptocurrencies for scammers and things like that, right? But you know what no one mentions is how the centralized banks are actually running the biggest schemes on the people every day, and they get away with it, right? So Wells Fargo is what I'm going to pull up, right? And then so I'm going to and then I go to really good sources. Right now I'm on the public affairs, the US Department of Justice, right? You just like this is Department of Justice. This is a real lawsuit. This is what I don't understand why people are so hard in criticizing cryptocurrency when the centralized banks are actually the biggest criminals in the world. So let me share my screen here, right? Give me a second here. I'm going to share this screen. Now I want you guys to understand like this here. Man, if you guys are in here, follow me, hit like, share this live stream, guys. I would love your support, and I promise I'm going ham, right? So now, as you can see right here, it says Wells Fargo agrees to pay $3 billion to resolve criminal and civil investigations into sales practices involving the opening of millions of accounts without customers' authorization, right? So this is what I'm trying to tell you, right? And then this is if I did this, right? If all the Ponzi scheme people in the world, right? Bernie Madoff, what's the other guy from Wolf of Wall Street? I can't think of his name right now. Bernie Madoff. I don't know. Let me know in the comments, guys. If you see, I can't think of his name. Is like Jordan Belfort. That's his name. So even if Jordan Belfort, SBF, right? The Sam Bankman Fried guy, right? They got fined, right? A settlement for $3 billion to resolve criminal and civil investigations, right? So what they were doing here, right? Wells Fargo, a company and its subsidiary, Wells Fargo's bank, have agreed to pay $3 billion to resolve their potential criminal and civil liability stemming from practices between 2002 and 2016 of pressuring employees to meet unrealistic sales goals that led to thousands of employees to provide millions of accounts or products to customers under false pretenses without consent, often by creating false records or misusing customers' identity theft. The Wells Fargo is using identity theft as a practice to make money. But never mind, like you guys worry about the crypto, the SPF, right? But this is not the point that I'm making, right? The point that I'm making is that they ended up having, right? Like they end up having $3 billion that they stole. And you know what the Department of Justice, what the Secretary of Treasury, and what the government said to do? Pay some of this money back, but continue as business as usual. Like if you can't, like if anybody else would have did this, they're stealing money. Now, there's another thing that Wells Fargo did, right? They also was writing bad mortgage loans and pencil whipping people who were buying their first home and whipping them on interest rates on the back end because they know that the only thing you want to do is get into the home. And then it's the same thing what sketchy car salesmen do. They sit there and then they push out the years on your loan. They're doing it right now, signing you up for 40-year mortgage loans, right? In order to help offset inflation, right? All that does is give more opportunity on the power of inflation. And so, guys, this is what I'm trying to say right now. Get over the fact, like, be mindful of it, though, right? Don't just turn a blind eye to it. Be mindful about your operational security when you're in this cryptocurrency market, right? But you have the self custody in order to protect yourself. The thing is that you blindly go into Wells Fargo, open up an account, and trust them right? All the insurances, everything. And they're victimizing you on the back end. Not to mention what I was originally talking about is what they've done with their greatest cash producing thing on their balance sheet is overdraft fees. They already know that you are getting all these subscriptions. Think about how everything is subscription based. You're getting all these subscriptions, right? And they all add up. We're talking about the $5.99 for your printer cartridge, right? We're talking about the $7.99 for your kid's Khan Academy account, right? You have all of these little things, right? So they already know that if you're bad at managing your personal finance, they're going to victimize you because once your balance goes to zero, oh, we're giving you overdraft protection, right? Meanwhile, boom, $40, boom, $40, boom, $40. And at the end of the day, you actually only owed $14, but the bank just whipped you for $230 just to get your access back to your bank so you can continue using the financial services in order to pay the rest of your bills. So it's literally kicking you while you're down. And this is what I'm saying, right? You have so many distractions these days, right? That not many people actually zoom in, right? Not many people actually zoom in and look at their own situation, right? Everybody wants to help homeless people, right? But you're on the brink of being homeless. I make a joke sometimes, like maybe people are trying to virtuously do that because they know where they're headed, right? But this is what I'm trying to say is that you're like, oh, there's so many homeless people on the street. We can't afford groceries. The gas is high. I don't even understand how people are paying for daycare. How are they working all these jobs, right? So now, when I get back to that, I want you to start realizing just alone, I just wanted to show you guys that. Let me go back. At my screen there, right? So now I'm trying to get you guys to understand that's the negative side of cryptocurrency, the thing, anti-money laundering, right? Like people haven't been doing that with artwork, right? You've been doing that with artwork since the beginning of time, right? Like money laundering, like that is worried about someone else's problem, right? And then you can tell me about war and all this other kind of stuff, but the way that we work it isn't preventing any wars at all. That's what I'm saying is that you get distracted by low hanging fruit and then you forget about it. It's like I said earlier on my Facebook where I was talking about how they gave you guys a watered down list of the Epstein list and now everybody just forgot about it. They gave you Stephen Hawkins and a few other people, right? A paraplegic. And then you guys just stopped. And then you blame TikTok for it, right? No, people have a memory of a fish since the beginning of time. If you don't remember, before there was social media and apps, what was the structure of commercials? Think about Super Bowl commercials. They charge millions of dollars for 30 seconds, and then you have to get your point across in 30 seconds. See, the recency bias is, and giving people the platforms to talk about useless things, right, is the ultimate distraction. That's why data is actually the best currency. That's why when you sign up to these platforms, they play to your emotions about connecting with people, your loneliness, emotions, right? Share with friends, right? Connectivity. But on the back end, the most valuable thing that you have is the email address that you're actually creating the account with. And we're going to follow that thing all the way around the internet. And I'm going somewhere with this because I'm going to circle it around to blockchain technology and why it's good for you if you can start understanding the technology. And yes, it has its flaws. Perfection is not the prerequisite of progress. Just always remember that. Perfection is not the prerequisite for progress. They want you to think that. They want you to give up hope on something that's not perfect, but it's not there yet. That's why when you hear people in entrepreneurship, they say, just do it. Just do it already. Just do it. That's the whole point, is that you have to keep making progress. Failure is not finality. It's not this or that, it's as well. We live in a world today that has more options than anybody before. It's the same reason why I don't subscribe to being spiteful of boomers, right? Because actually, 4 to 5 years ago, the rates were good, the houses were much cheaper, and you didn't care that much about owning a home, right? Because if you were financially better 5 years ago, right? And I'm not, well, first of all, when I say that, I'm not saying that the economy isn't terrible, inflation isn't high, right? And it's like, I'm not trying to say any of that. What I'm trying to tell you is that you didn't care about the cost of living, right? 4 or 5 years ago when you could have bought a house real easy. See, but right now is the one time in history that is very competitive with owning a home and renting. And I'm saying all this stuff because I want people to start being mindful of economic literacy. That's what's more important. Once you get financial literacy right, understanding personal finances, doing your checks and balances, and then understanding how money works, which back to what the financial advisor told me, right? Was that how much does it cost to be you? Most people don't understand that question, right? It's the hope that they sell you, right? The American dream, right? It's how much does it cost for you to operate your business? Remember, I said investing is probably the easiest business to start today. You can open up a Robinhood account, even though I'm not big on Robinhood, but you can start buying assets from your cell phone. Boomers couldn't do that. I'm talking about you can take $2, put it in NVIDIA. You can create your own index fund by structuring it from the highest performing assets because you also, guess what boomers didn't have? They didn't have access to the information to find out all of the balance. And like you had to strictly go to Wall Street. Remember Wall Street when they used to have the paper waving and stuff like that? Now there's people who can do options from their home. There's somebody who's successful in investing, and what they can do is actually help you learn how to invest. This is why I'm trying to tell you that most people, they black out. And one of my things is that we do live in the matrix. It's so easy to live in this synthetic world. The point that I'm trying to make right now is that, of course, naturally, we're all asleep some kind of way. Whether it is you find one presidential candidate better than the other, right? But they're both two wings on the same bird. Why ain't you all in the same direction, right? And here's the thing, you have the options. The people actually have the power. The thing is divide and conquer is a real thing. They want you to get into these forums. They want to give you a Kendrick and Drake Lamar beef. And then you pick between two artists when it's just music, right? Like one of the things, me as a black man, the one thing that I'm really like happy about the progress we're making is that we're not being crabs in the barrel with each other. I didn't subscribe to that whole Kendrick Lamar beef and Drake beef because it was two brothers tearing each other down. Where did they go? Race issue, racial equality, dividing people, digging up dirt on their housewives and stuff like that, right? But meanwhile, you'll see the Shade Room talking about how the black mental health thing, but then you're going to talk about this is hip hop, spelling, all of the entertainment, the sports is all designed Jedi mind tricks to distract you. What I'm saying is look at who you are. This is why money isn't everything, but it's a necessary tool for you to snap out of the matrix. What I'm trying to tell you is that if you know, like, control what you can control. I've been working this job so long. They don't really value me, right? You can supplement your income driving Uber, Instacart. Yes, that costs money, right? But start planning your exit strategy. You are your greatest investment in every single way. There's nothing more powerful than every human being. And they want you to think that somebody's better than the other. We each are uniquely, individually special. They try to pin us together about our parenting ideologies and our values, what we value in relationships, right? We all desire different things. This whole thing is all a distraction to you. That's what marketing does, right? Find their pain points, right? Find the pain points, poke them until they make a decision. Scarcity, urgency, hurry up and buy this right now because I only have a little bit left. You have to start understanding the human behavior tactics. That's why when I talk about the 48 laws of power, I can tell a lot about a person on how they view that. You're either the victim or you're the person who's trying to fight back. How do you fight back? Is getting quality information, reading the books, right? That's the reason, like, once everything goes digital, and this is why I'm really telling you guys about this cryptocurrency stuff, right? The writing's on the wall. we're moving into a more digital era. How much time a day do you watch TV in comparison? Go look at your digital well-being, right? Or whatever they call it on Apple phones. I don't remember, right? Is go look at that, right? And go see how much time you spend scrolling on each app, right? They track everything. The only thing is, not only do you have access to that information, Apple, Samsung, Google, they all have it. What are they doing? Selling it on the back end, right? You have to start understanding how are you going to fight back and take your own life back, right? Don't like Gary Vee is one of those guys that like sometimes you got to tune out your parents, right? Some of us actually need to build with our family, right? Everybody wants generational wealth. You know how you get that? Move in together. Move back in with your parents, right? And then if you're trying to do your little thing, right? You're trying to party, you go out on the weekends. If you don't have to pay $2,500 a month in rent, and all you got to do is help out with bills, clean up around the house, right? Go get yourself an Airbnb and do your little love thing. That's like you don't have to play the game by the way everyone else is telling you to, right? You don't have to keep playing this game like by a script. Walk to the beat of your own drum. You are powerful. We're all powerful. We work better. The collaboration is the best thing that we have in this world. And so what I'm trying to tell you is that this whole entire thing is one big giant distraction. Even going live on these platforms, I understand it. That's why I'm actually doing it in multiple places, right? Because what it does is that I want people to realize that you have the power. We control everything. We are the economy. We are the people who pay the most taxes to fund the government. All of us collective as working, right? Yes, there's elitists that's controlling it because they have the money, right? That's why being financially free is possibly the most important thing that you can do for your family. You want generational wealth? Go get it. It's out there. You know what you need to do? Turn me off. Start posting content about your ideas, things that you want, things that you do. That's my favorite thing about TikTok. It's normal people showing you amazing things, not all the fancy editing like Instagram asks you and stuff. No diss to Instagram. Don't put me on the list there. But what I'm saying is it's just that everyone overthinks things because they think perfection is progress. But actually action is progress. Like you got to look at the civil rights movement. You got to look at everything that we're doing, right? We're not It's not perfect. And in fact, you're not going to change everybody, right? There's people like, and this is okay. People aren't going to like you. People aren't going to disagree. Like, people aren't going to agree with everything that you say. That's what I'm trying to get you to understand is that once you start realizing that, no, that doesn't make me a bad person because I don't value your opinion. Like, the only reason why you want me to care about what you say is so you can have the power to make me feel inferior or overvalue your opinion, right? And I'm saying that it's the same thing. Even if I don't like what you don't like, the world is inherently abundant. This world is big enough for everyone. You also have the power, and this is something else I want to add to it. It's the whole thing talking about protecting the borders. Should they? Yes. By design, they should control the borders a little bit, right? But I want you to also see the other thing that you can take from that. There's people who desire change so much, right, that they would walk from South America through Central America to get to America, right? Whether you believe that the American dream doesn't exist anymore or whatnot, I don't care. It's doing me pretty good, right? Is it perfect? No. Do I still have a say? Yes, right? But what I'm saying is look at these people who are willing, like, or even the people in Haiti on the rafts. Think about the people in Ukraine fighting back. Think about the people of Palestine. Look at all of the people. Like, the power is in the people. You, anybody listening. You're special. You're powerful. I'm not saying that like your mom. I'm not your mom. I'm not your dad. I'm just saying the minute that you take back your greatness, your life is great. That's why I don't like the term humble. Life humbles us every day. Random strangers on the internet with no profile picture will throw shade at random people to humble them, right? And everybody wants people to humble them because if I feel like we're either level or you're beneath me, I feel more comfortable. That's a weakness on the other person's end, not yours. Right? Now, should you have modest and have manners and be courteous, nice and courteous? Yes. Humble? No, 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 no. I want to hear you say how great you are because that is actually the power of manifestation. Everybody wants all of these positive affirmations until it makes them feel inferior. This guy shows off too much. This person is bragging, right? It's even like lifestyle stuff on social media, right? I don't care if someone can't afford that Lambo. The truth is going to come to light. like, like it doesn't matter. And that person's going to have pressure from trying to be something they're not. And guess what? I don't have to do anything, right? Because life is going to humble them. They don't have to do it for me. And then if you're living modestly, I hate to be on your means and stuff because we don't know what our means are because we got too much stuff holding our head underwater. It's just like the livable wage is a myth, right? I got 3 children and a family and houses and other assets to what's a livable wage to me? Right? I'm not saying that people don't need one. What I'm trying to tell you is that pay attention to yourself. How can you get the bag? All right? So now, with that all being said, that's my mindset part. When it comes to it, the only way you're going to get ahead is through investing. Investing is the only way to make money without sacrificing your time. It's the only way. Then there's people who like to be like, hey, you're exploiting somebody, right? Everybody's exploiting, right? I had someone tell me this on a post the other day. He was like, yeah, my job may exploit me, but then stop white knighting for it. If you already know you're exploiting it, why you're white knighting for it? Don't play the game. Like he's not willing to walk the walk. He's just talking because it sounds good and it makes him feel better, right? What I'm saying is whip out these phones, start making content, right? Start connecting with people who's willing to give you the information to get ahead. Stop worrying about the people who's trying to hold you down and tell you how hard it is. We know. Like we know it's hard. Like everybody already knows that it's hard out here. How can it get better? Who's telling me that it's better? And then once you hear it, right? Don't just believe sunshine and rainbows. All this stuff's hard, right? When I first started investing in real estate through wholesaling, right? I started out driving for dollars, right? Driving for dollars because that's what my mentor told me to do. Find a lead, right? Find the house that's ugly, right? That's why I identify as the crypto bro with the real estate portfolio, right? Is that because what I'm trying to get you to understand is that it was hard. Distressed properties, writing the address down, sending it to investors, right? Hey, I got this address, this address, this address, this address. If you buy it, they'll pay you for the leads. I do that now. If you send me an address, I pay you for the leads. You can do that at home while driving to work. Drive around in your neighborhood, right? Here's something like, and you don't realize it, right? Passive income is money that you don't have to work for to get, right? Stop doubting stuff. Cast a wide net, throw it out there. It costs you nothing to open your eyes. Costs you nothing to open your eyes when you're out driving to work, the grocery store, your kids' practice game, and seeing an ugly house that has a lot of garbage, busted windows, roof, a tree going through it. You know what an ugly house looks like, right? Writing down the address, then going on social media, whether it be Facebook is the best because locally is where Facebook has the best reach, right? You can even do it on Instagram, like on TikTok, anywhere you want. Just put it out there somewhere. Use these tools, right? Because before you used to have to go to the newspaper, put a classified ad in, go to the library, look through a phone book. Like I'm 41 years old. I've seen it. I've already seen the progress of technology. That's why I'm more positive about it. It's because I remember dial-up, being able to use the internet, and my sister had to pick up the phone to call her boyfriend, and I got disconnected from the internet. The internet is always already better than it was 20, 30 years ago. Everything's better. These platforms, TikTok is a better version of all the social media platforms. It's like everything. Like that's why perfection is not like Perfection is not progress. It's not a prerequisite for it. What I'm trying to tell you is that keep your eyes peeled for ways to make money, right? You can sit on these platforms like I probably don't even do it enough myself. Is there somebody out there who knows how to braid hair, right? And they're overthinking that they need a ring light and all this other kind of stuff. And then and all they really need to do is braid hair and start talking about things they care about. Yeah, you're going to get some haters. Yeah, of course, people hate. There's people who love trolling, right? They love it. They log in, they download the app just to be negative. You know what I mean? It's like don't let somebody else's misery consume your life and block your blessings, right? Because you could be you could be a stay-at-home mom braiding 3 kids' hair, almost getting ready to lose your house and stressing it. And all you need to do is turn your cell phone towards you and braid your kid's hair live and have people send you some money. Or, hey, can you teach me how to braid? And then you get Zoom, get some free platform, right? Start braiding. And then the thing is, you think nobody won't pay for it. Somebody will pay for it if it's priced right. Charge $5. Then the more valuable your time, that's what I call increasing your value in the marketplace. It's the more and more that you start adding skills on top of yourself, right? The more value you create in the marketplace. See, money is imaginary. It's a construct. Money is just a concept and a construct to actually be, because as you can see, since we moved from gold and they've been printing money, like that stimulus print, cash is dead. Cash is dead. You can't, even if you want to go back to the gold standard, there's too many dollars in circulation to back. What are you going to back it by? Right? But this is what I'm saying. Money is like, you need money to pay bills, right? But you are the greatest resource on earth. Like, I'm somebody who don't believe that we're entirely responsible for global warming, right? Mother Earth is will cleanse itself. So don't listen to everything, like, because that's going to make you stressed. Find out what you value and stick with it and rock with it. You'll find your tribe and you'll find your village that way. Think about how many different cultures there is on this planet. You don't think that there's people who want to collaborate with you? We're by numbers. We're too focused on being individuals, right? But you still have to somewhat let people know that you have skills as well. We worry about the wrong things all the time. It's like, I don't know how to tell you that you have every resource that you have on this device, wherever you're going, whatever you're going to do, you have every resource you need. You can just send someone a PayPal, have them pay you through Venmo, costs $0, right? Find somebody who would pay you for something, because money is imaginary. They want you. They want you to think about that. They want you to think that money is this difficult thing to obtain. They want you to think there's only one way to do it. And when I say they, that goes for anybody, the powers that be, but also, you know who the they is? The people who want to see you lose. The friend of yours that ain't really your friend, but sneak dissing in the background. The family member who's disappointed that you never became an attorney or a lawyer like they wanted to, right? They want to see you lose because they want to be right. Ego. We all have ego. There's the biggest fight that we fight every day is our ego and our pride. And both of them are holding us back. But it's nice to serve your ego. Give yourself a pat on your back, right? Stop asking other people to affirm you because you're giving your greatness to somebody else. You're allowing someone else to control your narrative. Can you please validate me? No, you know you work hard. Go get it. Go do it. Life is good. It's fantastic. You know how great you are. I say all of this because it's really important to realize how abundant this world is. We're not becoming less digital. It's more digital. Like, we've already took the human connection to swiping left and right? Like, on both sides of the fence, Cheesecake Factory thing, right? On both sides of that fence, there's people out there who are debating relationships, right? Like, here's the thing. I don't care if my wife cooks and cleans for me. I lived by myself since I was 19 years old. And then I went out, came back for a year or two. Then I left, right? And then I left and I learned how to operate on my own. But here's the thing, I also understand that there's people who have different values, but I don't care. I don't. That's what I'm saying. I don't need that. It doesn't take away from anything. My wife does her thing, I do my thing. We coexist. That's why it works. But if you trying to live someone else's values on relationships and holding that as your truth, that's the reason why you're miserable. The reason why guys are always looking at other girls and women looking at other guys, right? Is because people like, and they try to say that everybody's always looking for the next best thing. Not everybody. Not everybody. They pin you against each other. You're in this forum, right? You're sitting there scrolling, right? There's people like on Facebook, it's the worst. On Facebook, I watch people single complain about being single, and all they do is air their dirty laundry out all the time. And I was like, you think when you meet somebody, they ain't gonna go look on your social media and see that you kind of ratchet, reckless, you talk a lot, rah, 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 or you post sexual innuendos all the time. And so if you look like a lick, somebody gonna hit. Like, and then, like, that's the point that I don't understand. And then you're confused that buddy just smashed and grabbed, right? But you putting out the vibes. And then every time you made it okay to let everybody know you got heartbroken. And guess what a real predator does on stuff like that? That's why, you ladies, and people need to stop crying out all the time, right? A real predator will see your distress as a weakness and prey on you for it. And that's like, and then nobody ever thinks about that. And you wonder why you're failing at relationships. And it isn't that married people aren't happy, right? The happiest married people ain't sitting out there telling you about everything going on in their marriage. They're not posting pictures every day to flex on somebody, right? And I'm not saying that people that do it is actually flexing. Some people are just very happy. And it blows people's mind that somebody can be authentically happy and post a picture. Somebody worked hard to get a BMW and took a picture next to it and just bought their new house. Don't believe what you see on the internet. Yo, believe you shouldn't, right? And also don't believe that everybody's a victim and that life is so hard. But nobody wants to not talk about that on the internet. And now, like everybody wants to only talk about the low-hanging fruit that's easier to find common ground with. That's why people post things in order to get likes. That's why people troll to say things to get attention. That's what the like. And I'm not saying like there's some people who probably there's a girl out there who probably takes selfies of herself, right? And she struggles mentally with body image issues, and this is her actually growing out of it. Then there's a hater that'll come on and be like, you need to cover yourself up. It's like, you don't know how far that person's come. Shut up. Keep scrolling. Let someone live. Like, it's just like the podcast bros who are putting these, like, do you ever realize that they put the same kind of woman on the podcast? Why don't you go, like, you're saying that every woman out there is like this? No. Let me tell you how you have an agenda. You're choosing these people to actually, you're choosing these people to go back. Like, see, there's a guy in the chat on my TikTok. Is Black Envoy Boy, and he's like, L likes, sign off. That guy's a loser. Like, his name is a loser. His energy's a loser. And he's worried about, like, he thinks that I care about likes. That's a troll. That's a prime example of what I'm talking about. This guy is a complete loser. Like, I'm sitting out here putting my message out to the world. He's wasting his time listening to somebody to think that he can rob me of my energy. He needs attention. He needs love. Probably needs money. Probably needs food. Probably needs shelter. He's a bum. And this is what I'm trying to tell you. Like, you can't let negative people control your demeanor. I feel sorry for him. Like, this guy got on a free platform, filled out his name, right? And this is why I'm telling you, post your stuff. Like, there's going to be people like this dude. He doesn't realize that he's actually paying attention to me. He's engaged the most, right? And he thinks he's hating, but he's actually pumping me up. And then all he's going to do is log off, go somewhere else, and do the same thing. A loser. His greatest accomplishment, right, is that he's like, report it. You can report me. It doesn't matter. And it's like, it's the same thing, right? And then, like, see, he's still commenting. He's an idiot. Like, he doesn't realize that he's promoting me. That's all it is. Like, he's so cold on the inside. And I'm trolling him right now. It's funny. But anyhow, but this is a good case example, right? Is that if you let somebody like him control your narrative, right? Because see, he's only on TikTok, right? He doesn't know I'm on 4 other platforms right now. But he's sitting somewhere trolling the internet, trolling, doing it, right? But those people are going to say that, man. Don't let people steal your power. That's the point. You see? And so, look, he reported me on TikTok and it was like, you're bullying me. The guy's name is Black N-word Boy. And then, but see, like, this is a guy, like, this is the kind of stuff that you need, though. Like, it doesn't even matter. Look, and he's still here. And it's he's like, he's bullying me and he needs to go back and look. And I'm going to go report him later. And then so, yeah, look at him. He's like, stop bullying me. This guy logs on just to do that. See, but this is the thing that happens. You see, you can't even overvalue having these accounts. Like, you just can't. I don't care either way. Everything works out. So here's the other thing that I want to talk about, right? Is that there's always going to be somebody who's plotting against you. There's always going to be someone who doesn't believe the things that you say, doesn't believe in what you're doing, right? There's always going to be that person. And then so, like, you just can't let people control your whole narrative. And then so now, like, if you go back, right, to the beginning, and life isn't going to get any easier, it's not going to get any harder. You know, it's like none of it's going to change anything, right? So, what you have to start deciding to do is taking control of your life. What are you going to do? What is the thing that you want? What is it that you desire? Is it obtainable? Is it something that you do? Is it something that you want to do? And then so, hold on, I gotta make sure that you gotta put your work in for the trolls, man. Sometimes you gotta put your work in. And you gotta make sure. There you go. And then so you got to put your work in for the trolls, right? I had to make sure that I remembered to report that guy just for somebody else. And then so anyhow, what I'm trying to say, right, is that everything is going to work out as long as you stay focused on the thing that you want. And that sounds like some hokey hope stuff, but it's true. Everything's going to work out. And the more and more that you do it, right? Let's see. So now I'm going to show you something else. We're going to be back, right? Is that we're going to be back in here, right? So now, when it comes to this economy, right? I personally believe that most of the data that is out there is remixed in some way. Now, it may not be, thanks for the likes, whoever that was. You're amazing. And then, so one of the things that I want you to understand is that, hey, Crystal. And then one of the things that I want you to understand is that opportunity has never been better than it ever has been before. Don't never let anybody tell you how bad it is. And that I'm saying that I'm not saying that it isn't bad. I'm just saying that you have more resources to be able to fight through it than you've ever had before. You're amazing, Crystal Brown. And then so because and then so but anyhow, it's when you start realizing that the numbers can be made up. Numbers, me and my friend had this joke the other day that numbers lie. Numbers don't lie unless the person entering the numbers is a liar. And that's the thing that people do not understand is that if I'm the person putting in the numbers and I decide to remix them, you have to start looking at, like, what did they do with the recession, right? What is the context of a recession, right? What is it that we're all doing? It was 3 negative quarters. That's right. That's right. It's 3 negative quarters, right? And then I'm not worried about that, guys. Don't worry about it. I appreciate the positive support from every end, right? So now, one of the things that you need to understand Hold on, what's happening here, guys? Can you guys hear me on Facebook right now? I'm sorry, TikTok. Hey guys. Yeah, all right. So yeah, can you guys hear? All right, YouTube works. Yeah. I'm gonna go to TikTok because I like TikTok. Like TikTok has I just gotta get better with it. Like I personally like TikTok. Like I like it out of all of them. I like TikTok. I'm a TikTok guy. And then because I like the natural. No offense to you guys there. It's just like I like the natural, organic, like homegirl who had that 50 story thing telling her marriage story, right? Like people doing that stuff is amazing. That someone like she can get it off her chest. Like that's like that's the kind of mental health stuff that people don't understand, right? It's like, hey, I like the garden, and that's the stuff that I'm talking about. That even if you're a person like we all are gifted, we all have gifts. That's the thing, is that we all have gifts. The idea is that you have to understand that what everybody like what makes me great isn't the same thing that's necessarily going to make you great, right? You're great for something that's undiscovered because maybe like there's so many tangibles that goes into that, right? Like and then I'm glad you said that. It's like cuz the thing that makes you great, right? Is not going to be the same thing that I do, right? Because we grew up different, right? We have different parents, right? Like I personally, like, and this is something that I don't like, I like hard, like I've probably seen my biological father maybe twice, but I don't use that as like some story on the internet to get people because I've done the work and gotten through it. Like I'm not saying that that either made my life for better or worse, but it's something that I personally like that's different. Like I had psychological hangups about that, right? So the things that trigger me and do me wrong is different from person to person. And it doesn't mean that I'm less or worse than anybody else, right? That's what I want you guys to understand is that I'm not trying to say that in like we have this thing like it's like the same concept of the goat debate, right? The GOAT debate is a debate amongst commoners, right? Because all those people are great. The percentage of something, this crazy percentage of what it takes to go to the NBA. Like, if you sit on the pine in the NBA, you're guaranteed to make $1.3 million a year. And then somebody on the internet is going to call you a bum. Eh, eh, it's hard to get there. You went through a lot of bums to be that one special bum, you know? And it's like you have to start understanding why, like, just low vibrational conversations. And then some of the low vibrational stuff is fantasizing about the spirituality of stuff, right? And then not realizing that if you truly believe the spirituality stuff, walk in your light. If you believe that you're a God and you have positive energy and a good aura, use it and give it to people. Also, if you're mindful that other people will try to take it from you, protect yourself from it. Operate like that on a day-to-day basis, right? It's like we overcomplicate things that are really simple. And that's the thing that I want most people to understand, right? Is that we're going to continuously work on ourselves. And as long as you continuously to work on yourself, your greatest investment is you. You are the greatest investment on this planet. There's nothing better than anything else than you realizing how great you are as a person. We're all beautiful. And then you allow people like it doesn't like you think like there's some people who get mad at a guy who goes to the gym every day, loves to talk about it, right? And then feels like he's imposing his lifestyle on you when he's just talking to somebody who maybe wants to start, right? Or maybe like so and it's like and it goes back because I want you to know that there's also people who create for evil, right? And their agenda is manipulative, right? And what they're doing, right, is that they're going to continuously try to promote their lifestyle and values. It's like I was telling you about the podcast, bro, not bringing the woman of power onto their platform, right? Show me a powerful woman. Show me your ideal woman. Bring her on the podcast so you can showcase what your ideal woman looks like. How come they don't do that, right? Or maybe they do. I just avoid them. Maybe I'm wrong about it, right? Maybe I'm wrong, but I'm just like if you are got a woman who slanders men, bring the ideal man on there and showcase what he looks like. And now naturally you're going to have people that's going to poke holes in the logic in that, right? That's because people want to confirm what they believe true. That's confirmation bias. People are going to do that no matter what. And then every time you do it, they're going to continuously do it. And well, guys, it's been a long time. And I want you guys to realize that you're beautiful, you're powerful. Crystal, thank you. Miss T, thank you. And then I'm gonna try to go live more. I just got the live on TikTok, but remember, you guys are all powerful, and I love you guys, and I'll see you again soon. Oh, you know, I cut the live off yet. Oh, there we go.